Can we get this every weekend? Every weekend.
Can we?
Oh, I wish that was the case. It would be nice. The good news is we're still going to be decent as we go through much of the week. We're just going to feel a little more like summer. So we're still a little cool tonight. Most of us will still manage to drop back into the 50s for one more night. Tomorrow, we are going to have a little more haze to our skies. Not quite as bright as we've been for much of the weekend. We'll get a little more haze, and we will get a little bit of leftover cloud cover that tries to filter through for tomorrow. I still think we look mostly dry for the time being. Any rain potential right now kind of just gets pushed further and further down the road. Looks to really hold off at this point. We are looking mostly dry as we go through the next few days here. We're really going to hold off until later in the week and even into the weekend and early next week before we really bring back that chance for some more widespread rain. But we are going to bring back closer to average temperatures and even above average temperatures. We were in the 70s the all weekend, really. August so far, we've had highs just in the 70s, lows in the 50s. So that's not exactly what you'd expect for August. 83 is about our average high temperature. So we are going to get back to around and above that as we go through the next 7 to 10 days here. We've got a lot of highs that are going to be in the 80s, a couple days where we will be close to 90. But the one thing to note with this is that our humidity is not going to be as bad as it was for much of July. So it is going to be heating up. It's just not going to be the heat and the humidity that we really had for much of last month. Those dew points still going to be very low and comfortable as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday as well. We really don't see that uptick in humidity until we get towards the end of the week, which is when we bring back those rain chances potentially. And again, we're just talking about dew points in the 60s. We're not talking about the upper 60s to 70s that we had for much of July. So again, it's going to be hotter. It's just not going to be as humid. It's not going to be as bad as you're imagining. We were very spoiled with great weather over the weekend, though. Hopefully you got to get out and enjoy it. Temperatures are cooling off now as we get into the overnight hours. Most of us sitting in the 60s, down to 59 already for Ashtabula. And again, we will have some more of those 50s popping up as we go through tonight. I mentioned that haze that we're going to have for tomorrow. You might have seen some of that, especially if you looked out towards the sunset earlier this evening. We've had some more of that smoke trying to get into our skies. We still have plenty of wildfires burning up in Canada and putting a lot of that smoke up into the atmosphere. Really densest on the other side of the Great Lakes, but we still have plenty of that through areas of Michigan, Wisconsin, and down into southern Canada. So some of that is going to try to make its way towards us for tomorrow. Our air quality isn't going to be quite as bad as some of the surrounding areas. They do have alerts for areas of Michigan, Wisconsin, and up into the Northeast, but still something to be aware of, especially if you're in one of those more sensitive groups for tomorrow. Other than that, we do still have high pressure that is going to be in place for the next couple of days. That's going to keep us feeling fairly nice. We do have clouds off to the west. We had some showers and thunderstorms developing across the plains earlier today. That rain potential is fizzling out, but some of that cloud cover is going to try to drift our way as we get into tomorrow. For tonight, though, mostly clear. It's going to be a quiet night. Temperatures back into the 50s for most of us, so a little bit cool if you're out late tonight or early tomorrow morning. As we go through the day tomorrow, though, temperatures are back right around to even a touch above average, well into the 80s through the afternoon. We will have a little more of that haziness and a little bit of an increase in cloud cover, especially as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. We'll pick up that National Designer hour-by-hour forecast on Tuesday. We'll still have a little bit of that haziness and some cloud cover lingering, especially early on. Notice temperatures to start the day will be warmer. We start off in the 60s for most locations. We'll get a little more sunshine to try to work in through the second half of the day. Temperatures for most of us top out in the 80s. This particular model's trying to throw a stray shower out there with some pretty dry air in place at the surface. I think most of us are going to stay high and dry as we go through the day on Tuesday. Just a little bit of haziness and a few clouds to deal with. Rest of that Medina Country Club extended forecast. Plenty of 80s as we go through the rest of the work week. We will keep at least some cloud cover around. Again, right now I think we're looking mostly dry for the next few days. We'll hold off on rain chances until later in that forecast. Sports is up after the break.